Ayan. Okay, so good morning class. So today we'll discuss Laplace transform. Okay, so I think classmate throughout the weeks ng lectures natin sa numerical solution, pagdaanan natin yung solving the roots, solving tawag dito non linear system of linear equations, okay? Then also nag-solve tayo ng differentiation and integration using numerical solutions. Now, pupunta na tayo sa differential equations. So mga solution ng differential equations na pwede mong gamitan ng numerical solutions. Ayan. So, yung unang-una is the Laplace transform. Okay. So yung Laplace transform class, application nito is to solve for the differential equations. So ang nangyayari dito, kunwari you have differential equations, then ita-transform niya into parang basic algebraic expression na lang, then isa-solve mo siya basic algebra. So parang 'di ba alam natin na there are differential equations na medyo mahirap ihanapan ng solutions, 'di ba? Depende pa yan. Minsan may separation of variables, 'di ba? Naalala niyo 'yun, meron pang Bernoulli theorem to solve for differential equations. Ayan. So, napagdaanan niyo ba yung Laplace transform in your differential equation subject?
Yes po, sa amin.
Okay.
May mga necessity po.
Oo, sa iba nadaanan nila. So, ayan, recall lang natin yung Laplace transform. Sige. So, in mathematics, yung Laplace transform is named for its inventor, si Simon Laplace. So, it is an integral transform that converts a function of a real variable to a function of a complex variable. Okay? So, ganun lang yung ginagawa ng Laplace transform. Okay. So, recall your basic integrals. Di ba yung basic integrals natin, we have these 9. Okay? So, dagdag na rin natin dito, find the integral of tangent inverse. Okay, recall nyo na rin to, integral of cosine inverse and the integral of sine inverse. Okay. So, ayan. So, recall nyo na lang yung basic integrals nyo. Okay. So, ito naman yung typical na ginagamit dito, yung x raised to n dx. Okay, itong dx over x. And itong e raised to x. Okay. So, yung integral of e raised to ax dx is 1 over a kung ano yung constant mo doon. Then e raised to ax plus c, then a constant of integration. Okay, so ayan, dagdag nyo lang yan. So bali 9, 10, 11, 12. So 12 lang yung i-recall nyo na basic integrals. Okay, sige. And for definition of the Laplace transform, the f of t is the Laplace transform. Okay, so we denote that the Laplace transform as a small letter f of t. So ibig sabihin in lahat ng Laplace transform is is by variable of t. Okay? So variable of t yung ginagamit sa Laplace transform. Okay? Then the Laplace transform, okay, is given by integral of e raised to negative st f of t dt evaluated from 0 to infinity. So, ito yung basic definition of the Laplace transform. So, kung naalala nyo, to derive yung mga Laplace transform of a basic equation, gagamitan mo ng ganito. Ng ganito. E raised to negative st. Then, the function na gusto mong i-transform sa Laplace transform. Okay, then evaluated mo siya from 0 to infinity. So this is the basic formula or the formula for the Laplace transform. Ayan. So basic theorem of linearity sa Laplace transform. Okay. So yung Laplace transform of f of t is given by f of s. Okay. So with respect to s na siya. Okay, so basic theorem of linearity, the Laplace of the sum of f1 of t plus f2 of t is equals to the individual Laplace is equals to the sum of the individual Laplace. So pwede mo pala siyang i-distribute yung Laplace transform. So for example, the Laplace of Okay, the Laplace of y prime plus 2y. Okay, kapag nilaplace mo yan, take the Laplace transform of this function is equals din siya sa Laplace of y prime plus Laplace of 2y. Okay, so pwede mo siyang i-distribute yung Laplace. Okay, so take the individual Laplace and sum is the same to this one. Okay? So take sample problem tayo, sample problem. So take the Laplace transform of f of t equals to 1 when time is greater than or equal to 0. So find the Laplace transform. Okay? So ito class, yung Laplace transform na with a function of f of t, matatransform mo siya into a capital function capital F of S. Ibig sabihin, lahat ng Laplace is naka-S. Okay, naka-variable S. Ayan, yan lang yung basic yun yung default na letter na variable notation, letter T and letter S. Okay. Sige. So for example, we have the function f of t equals to 1. So ito yung f of t natin. And when time is greater than or equal to 0, now we want to find the f of s or the Laplace transform of this one. Okay. So by the basic definition, ano ba yung basic definition 'di ba ng Laplace transform is the Laplace transform of a function, okay, the Laplace transform of a function f of t is equals to the integral of e raised to negative st f of t dt evaluated from 0 to infinity. So yung f of t natin is 1. So parang nangyari, e raised to negative st lang. So we're dealing with this one na lang. So e raised to negative st dt evaluated from 0 to infinity. Okay, so recall your basic basic integral calculus, 'di ba? Sinabi ko. So basic integral calculus, S is since we are dealing with with t, so t is a variable and s is a constant. Therefore, the same siya sa e raised to negative at, integral of e raised to negative at dt. Okay, 'di ba? Ang integral niyan is 1 over a, kung ano yung constant mo, then copy as is plus c. Okay? Or wala nang plus c kasi definite integral 'to. Okay, so check your tingnan natin dito kung nakakalimutan nyo. Yan, this one. Integral of e raised to ax dx is equals to 1 over a e raised to ax plus c. Okay? So the same lang. So therefore, since yung a natin dito is negative s, okay, therefore, 1 over negative s or negative 1 over s, then copy as is e raised to negative st. Okay, now, we need to evaluate 0 to infinity. Okay, naalala nyo kung paano mag-evaluate ng integral? Okay, so pag-evaluate ng integral is yung upper boundary minus the lower boundary. So, since we are dealing with variable t, so substitute natin itong value na to sa variable t. Okay, so ibig sabihin, negative 1 over s e raised to constant times infinity is another infinity. So, infinity rin to. Okay? Minus, okay, negative 1 over s, tama? E raised to negative s times 0 is 0. Any number multiplied by 0 is 0. Okay? Ayan. Then, take note of this one. Ayan, take note of this one. If a number is, any number divided by a very large number is approaching to 0. Alam niyo naman yun, di ba? So, for example, we have, di ba, infinity is approaching to, a very large number yan, di ba? Let's say, you have 1 over 1, then next is 1 over 0.1, 1 over 0.001, 1 over 0.0001. Ay, sorry. Dapat pala malaking number yun sa taas. Okay, sorry. So let's say 1, 1,000, 1,000, okay, 1 million, okay? 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, yan. So approaching to 0 yan. So therefore, we can say that this term is approaching to 0. Tama? This term is approaching to 0. Okay? Ibig sabihin lahat ng lahat ng any number na divided by a very large number is 0. Okay, take note of this one. Then ito, any number raised to 0 is 1. Okay, if you try to solve, any number raised to 0 is 1. So therefore, ang natira na lang is, this is 1 times negative 1 over s times negative is positive 1 over s. Okay, so ito yung answer natin, positive 1 over s. Punta kay kuya. Okay. Okay. Sige, do you have questions for sample problem 1? Okay. Sige, napasasundan pa, madali lang naman, di ba? Okay, so try natin sample problem 2. Ayan. For a sample problem 2, okay? So determine the Laplace transform of a function f of t is equals to t. Okay. So ngayon, yung function natin is t na. Ayan. F of t is equals to t. Okay. So by the basic definition of the basic formula for the Laplace transform is the Laplace transform of a function is equals to the integral of e raised to negative st f of t dt evaluated from 0 to infinity. Okay? So yan yung basic definition of the Laplace transform or basic formula for the Laplace transform. Okay, so therefore, substitute natin yung f of t. So magiging ito. The Laplace transform of the function is equals to e raised to negative st times t dt evaluated from 0 to infinity. Okay, so take note of this class. So paano mo pa to integrate? Okay? So naalala nyo sa integral calculus, they have this liate. Naalala nyo ba yan? Or nasabi ba sa inyo yan yung liate? Okay, ang liate ibig sabihin is logarithmic, inverse, okay? Algebraic, trigonometric, and exponential. Okay, so if you have a combination of these two, or any two of these five function, okay, you need to do integration by parts. Okay, naalala niyo yung pag-solve for integration by parts? Okay. So, ano ba yung combination natin dito? We are combination of exponential. This is an exponential function. Okay, since may t rin dito, ayan, no? We have t. Ayan. So, ibig sabihin, a function to, e raised to negative st. So, since we are dealing with t, the variable t, with respect to t, therefore, ito is a function din. So, this is an exponential function. Okay? And itong isa is algebraic function, di ba? Polynomial with order 1. Okay? So, therefore, this is a combination of an algebraic function and an exponential function. Okay? So, we will do an integration by parts. Okay. So, paano ba nalalaman? Diba, sa integration by parts, ang formula dyan is integral of u dv is equals to uv minus integral of v du. Okay, if you recall. Okay. So, this one, paano ba nalalaman kung sino si u and sino si dv sa function na to? Okay, sundan mo lang din tong liate na to, yung term nila na liate. Okay, sundan mo lang to. Which is which? Okay, yung sinong nauuna? Si algebraic o si exponential? Di ba nauuna si algebraic, letter A, bago si exponential? Okay? Therefore, dito, si algebraic, siya si, nauuna, siya si U. Okay, dito si U. And si dv, siya si e raised to negative st. Okay, so sundan lang natin. So, ibig sabihin, yung U is equals to T, and dv is equals to e raised to negative st. Okay, therefore du is equals to dt, okay? And yung v natin is equals din to sa e raised to negative at, di ba? So 1 over s negative e raised to negative st. Okay? So ayan. So the same na siya dito. Ayan is 1. So u equals to t, du is equals to dt, okay? dv is equals to e negative st dt. Therefore, yung v natin is the integral of this one. So, 1 over negative s e raised to negative st. Okay? Nasundan po? Sige. So, ayan, pwede mo nang gamitan ng formula na UV minus integral of VDU. Okay. So, pasok mo lang si what is U? So, T. Okay, what is V? Is si 1 over negative S e raised to negative ST. This one. Then minus, what is V? Si V natin is 1 over negative S e raised to negative ST. And si du natin is si dt. Okay, this one dt. So therefore, ito na yung ating integration by parts. Okay? If you want more integration by parts, you can try DI method. Okay, DI method. Yan. If you check integration by parts using DI method, mas madali yung pag-solve for the integration by parts. Okay? So ito, evaluate na natin siya sa upper and lower limit. So from 0 to infinity. Okay. So this one, okay, this one muna. Ito. Kung ipapasok natin si infinity dun sa value of t, okay, this one. So naging ano pa rin siya, naging denominator kasi negative yung exponent. Therefore, any number over a very large number is approaching to 0. Kaya 0 to. Okay? And next one, if we substitute 0, this function, sa t, okay, mayroong 0 dito. Oh. May sa numerator may 0. So therefore, any number multiplied by 0 is 0 and any number divided by 0, divided to 0 is 0. Kunyari, 0 over 100, 0 over 1,000 is 0. So therefore, this is 0 minus 0. Okay? Then, evaluate naman natin itong isa. So, this one is, ano ba yung ano? Hindi pa pala natin to na-integrate. Okay. Yung 1 over negative s is a constant. So, pwede mo tong ilabas. Ayan, pwede mo siyang ilabas. And what we have left is e raised to negative st dt. Oh, so, the same na rin siya dito. E raised to negative st dt. So, ang integration niya is negative 1 over s e raised to negative st. Okay? So, negative 1 over s, this one, e raised to negative st. Okay. So, if take, okay, this one, then substitute natin, evaluated natin from 0 to infinity. Pasok muna natin si infinity. Ayan, pasok muna natin si infinity. So, e raised to negative st. So, negative pa rin yung exponent. Pinasok mo si infinity, magiging e raised to infinity, negative infinity, sorry. Then take the ibababa mo siya dahil negative yung exponent. Therefore, ano siya, 1 over infinity. Okay? So 1 over infinity s squared. Okay? So ibig sabihin any number divided by a very large number approaching to 0. Okay? Kaya 0 to. Okay? So next, substitute natin yung 0. Okay? Substitute natin yung 0 dito sa t. Okay? Therefore, e raised to 0. Any number raised to 0 is 1. Therefore, 1 multiplied by 1 over negative s times 1 over negative s is 1 over s squared. Okay, so ito. Okay, so negative 1 over s squared. Okay, so multiplied mo may negative sa labas, therefore positive 1 over s squared. Okay, therefore the Laplace transform of f of t equals to t is 1 over s squared. Ayan. So medyo mahirap lang yung solution. So imagine if you don't hindi ka nagawa ng cheat code or cheat set for the Laplace transform of a function, gagawin mo to every time. Okay, gagawin mo yung formula na e raised to negative st of t, f of t dt evaluated from 0 to infinity. Okay? So kaya nagawa sila ng Laplace transform table. Okay? This one. So i-upload ko rin tong handout 1 nyo. Okay? This is mas marami. Mas maraming table of Laplace transform. Ayan. So this one. Yan, mas maraming table of Laplace transform. Okay? So even the face-to-face class, so it is allowed to you to bring the Laplace transform table sa pagdating sa mga exam. Okay, so ito allow ko na rin. Sige. So hindi ka naman kayo mapipigilan and meron naman talaga kayo na itong kopya. Okay, so you can check if okay na yung BB Blackboard mamaya. So upload ko rin tong handout 1 or the table of Laplace transform. Okay? So ito yung common lang na konti. Okay? So 1 or u of t, so 1 over s. So the same siya dito, class. Ayan 1 over s. So f of t is equals to 1. Therefore 1 over s, the same. Okay? Then yung sinolve natin na t, okay? Ano ba to? T raised to n. Okay, this one. So t raised to n is 1 over s squared. Ayun oh, parehas, exactly the same. Ayan. Okay? So, ayan, that's it. So, ito yung common transform pairs or the Laplace transform. Okay? So, if we want to use this Laplace transform table, okay? So, ang gagawin lang natin, class, kunwari, we have a function, then we need to tawag dito, to simplify the function into recognizable table, into this recognizable function. So parang ang mangyayari, isi-simplify mo, okay, na-remember nyo, di ba? Naalala nyo sa differential equations nyo. Isi-simplify natin yung a function, isi-simplify natin yung function into this recognizable function para magamit natin yung table. Syempre, di ba? Para magamit mo yung table, dapat halos kamukha nitong nasa function na to. So pipilitin natin na ihawig dito sa function na to. So ganun yung trick part sa Laplace transform. Okay, so pipilitin natin i-convert or i-transform or i-simplify yung function natin into this recognizable function para magamit natin yung Laplace transform table niya. So likewise, dito naman sa kabila, ita-transform natin siya into recognizable function para ma-transform mo sa kabila. Okay? So let's try an example. So example muna tayo ng easy part. Okay. So sample problem 3. So a force in Newton is given below. So determine the Laplace transform of 50 u of t. Okay, u of t is equals to 1. Okay, therefore, this is equivalent to 50 times 1. Okay, so what is the Laplace transform of u of t? So ang gagawin lang dito, class, since yung 50 is a constant, pwede mo siyang alisin. So para siyang mangyayari, 50 Laplace transform of u of t. Okay, so what is the Laplace transform of u of t? If you check, this one, this is 1 over s. So therefore, 50 multiplied by 1 over s. So, okay, yung sagot is 50 over s. So, ganyan lang. Ayan lang. Okay. So, try pa tayo isa. So, for example, a sample problem 4, yan. So, a voltage is given by the equation V of t is equals to 5 e raised to negative 2t sine of 4t. Okay. So, we need to check din natin if meron tayong Laplace transform na table para dito sa function na to. Okay, so hanap tayo. So, ang function natin is, ano ba yan? Ang function is e raised to negative 2t sine 4t. So, ilagay ko lang dito. E raised to negative 2t sine of 4t. So, meron pa tayong 50 sa labas. Tama ba ako? 5 pala. 5. Okay. Ayan. Yan. 5. Okay. So, hanap tayo ng kahawig na itong e raised to negative 2t sine of 4t. So, saan ba siya? This one. Tama ba ako? Ito yung kahawig niya. Ito. E raised to negative alpha t sine of omega t. Okay? So, alpha, therefore, alpha natin is negative 2. Okay? Alpha natin is 2. And omega natin is 4. Tama ba? So, since kahawig siya ng e raised to negative alpha t sine of omega t, therefore, yung alpha natin, negative alpha equals to negative 2. Therefore, alpha is equals to positive 2. And omega is equals to 4. Okay? So, pwede natin gamitin yung equation na to or transform na to. Okay. So, pwede mo na. Ipasok mo na lang yan. So, if we check, ito. So, it is constant lang yung 5. Pwede mo ilabas yan. So, 5 multiplied by the Laplace of this function. Therefore, so ano ba yung omega? Omega natin is 4. So, 5. 4 over s plus 2. Alpha natin is 2. S plus 2 squared plus 4 squared. So, if we check, the same. 4 over s plus 2 squared plus 4 squared. Okay, then simplify the function. Okay, if you want to simplify, Pwede na rin to. So 20 over ganun. Pwede na rin yan. Or if you want further simplification, evaluate mo yung s plus 2 squared. So s squared plus 4 squared plus 4 plus 16. Therefore, s squared plus 4s plus 20. And 5 times 4 is 20. So therefore, yung answer natin is 20 over s squared plus 4s plus 20. Okay? So that is the paggamit ng table na to. Okay, hahanapan mo lang siya ng kahawig or pipilitin mo mahanap yung kahawig. Okay? Sige, another one. So the pressure of a Pascal is given by this equation. So find down the Laplace transform. So 5 cosine 2t plus 3 e raised to negative 4t. Okay, by basic definition kanina, di ba? Take note. The Laplace transform of let's say function y double prime plus y prime is equals to the individual Laplace transform and take the sum. Okay? So, ganito yung gagawin natin. Since magka two terms to, so pwedeng mong gawin, it is equals to the Laplace of 5 cosine of 2t plus the Laplace of 3 e raised to negative 4t. Okay? So, take the individual Laplace and take the sum. So, it is the same in taking the Laplace of whole this function, of whole function. Okay? So, find muna natin yung kahawig ng cosine 2t. Okay, may kahawig ba yung cosine 2t dun sa Laplace table natin? Ito, this one. Okay? Ang kahawig niya is ito, cosine omega t. I think mas maganda if meron dito. Ayan, cosine omega t. Okay? So, therefore, yung itong isa is omega natin is, ano ba yung omega natin? Omega natin is 2. Therefore, 5 multiplied by s over s squared plus 2 squared. Okay? By formula lang. Pasok mo lang yan dito. So, s over s squared plus omega is 2 squared. 2. So, 2 squared yun. Like this one. Yan. So, next, ano ba yung kahawig ng e raised to negative 40? So, kahawig niyan is ito. E raised to negative 80. Okay? So, e raised to negative 80 lang. This one. So, equivalent lang siya sa 1 over s plus alpha. Yan o. Okay? So yung alpha natin, negative alpha is equals to negative 4. Therefore, alpha is equals to 4. So yung Laplace transform is 1 over s plus alpha. Therefore, 1 over s plus 4. Ayan. So yung constant lang naman na 3 and 5 pwede mong ilabas. Therefore, the final answer is 5s over s squared plus 4 plus 3 over s plus 4. Ayan. So yun yung answer mo. Yun yung final answer mo. So kung gusto niyo, pwede niyo rin ito i-simplify further into one fraction na lang siya, one term na lang. Or as is nyo na lang yan, pwede na rin yan. Okay? Sige, wait lang . Okay. Ayan. So medyo jump pack tayong yung ano natin ngayon, yung ating lectures ngayon kasi we will discuss Laplace transform, inverse Laplace transform, okay, yung Laplace of the piecewise functions, and also application tayo ng Laplace transform in solving differential equations. Okay, so I think kapag hindi tayo matapos is ano tayo, gagamitin natin yung time for small time for sa lab natin mamaya. Okay, so kung hindi tayo matatapos. Okay, sige. So now we are down to inverse Laplace transform. Okay, find the inverse Laplace transform. Okay, di ba kanina nagso-solve tayo ng Laplace of f of t. Okay, then ito take the Laplace of f of t and magiging siya, a function of f of s, di ba? Ngayon, kung given ka naman ng f of s, paano mo siya mababalik dito? Okay, paano mo siya mababalik doon? Okay, ang solution dyan is, ang tawag sa term na yun is taking the inverse of the Laplace transform. Okay, so ito yung Laplace transform mo, take mo yung inverse of the Laplace transform, babalik ka dun sa original function. Okay, so yung notation dyan is the Laplace transform raised to negative 1 or the inverse, then a function f of s or yung transform, then babalik na siya sa Laplace, babalik na siya sa original function f of t. Okay? So, that is a Laplace transform. So, babalik mo lang. Okay? Revert back to the original function. Okay. So, when a differential equation is solved by the Laplace transform, the solution is obtained as a function of a variable s. So, the inverse transform must be formed in order to determine the time response. So, the simplest forms are those that can be recognized within the tables, and a few those will now be considered. Okay? So, ito yung trick part. Kailangan mo daw gawin is transform mo siya into recognize within the tables. Yan. Ayan sinasabi ko kanina. Kailangan mong i-transform or i-simplify yung function mo into simplest form so that you can recognize that function in the Laplace transform table. Okay? Dapat ma-transform siya dito. Okay. So mamaya malalaman nyo kung paano yan. Sige. So let's try a practice problem. So easy practice problem lang tayo. So sample problem 6. So determine the inverse transform of the function below. Okay, dito na lang ako titingin para hindi na ako aangat ng slides. Dito na lang tayo titingin. Okay. So a sample problem 6. So determine the inverse transform of the function below. So 5 over s plus 12 over s squared plus 8 over s plus 3. Okay, so it is the same dun sa basic theorem for the Laplace transform. Okay, taking individual Laplace is equals to the sum of the whole individual Laplace. So the same lang din dito. Yung take the individual inverse Laplace transform is the same in taking the inverse of the whole equation, di ba? Sige. So yung 5 over s, okay, the same siya. Hanapin natin yung table na 1 over s. So, di ba, ito is 5 over s. Okay. So, parang para makita mo ng maayos, di ba? 5, pwede mo tanggalin yung 5, then is 1 over s. Tama? Itong isa, 12, 1 over s squared. Okay, then yung isa, it is 8, 1 over s plus 3. Okay? Ngayon, so 1 over s squared, and 1 over s plus 3, pwede ba nating mahanap yan dun sa table of Laplace transform natin? Okay, so hanapin natin. So unang term, 1 over s. May 1 over s ba dito? May more recognizable term ba dito? Ayun, this one. Tama, di ba? This one is 1 over s. Ayan. Therefore, this is equivalent to 1. Okay? So therefore, taking the inverse of 1 over s, inverse Laplace of 1 over s is equals to, okay, I think dapat meron akong Laplace dito sa labas para, okay, ganito na lang. Yan. So, taking the Laplace of 1 over s, taking the Laplace of 1 over s, inverse Laplace of 1 over s, okay, is equivalent to 1. Okay, so therefore, this is 5 times 1. Okay. And this one, okay, what is hanap tayo ng 1 over s squared. Okay, 1 over s squared. 1 over s squared. Okay, so walang eksakto na 1 over s squared. Ayun. Tama ba na ito? So, n factorial over s raised to n plus 1. Tama ba yan? Kasi with s squared yun, di ba? So, therefore, s squared, n is equals to 1. Ayan o, zoom in ko lang ha. Therefore, n is equals to 1. Kasi denominator natin is s squared. Yung formula is n plus 1. Therefore, yung n natin is 1, di ba? N plus 1 is equals to 2. Okay, yung n natin is equals to 1. Okay, therefore, it is equivalent to 1 factorial over s squared. Ayan, 1 factorial, 1 over s squared. Di ba? So, equivalent siya dito sa t raised to n. Ano ba yung n natin? Is 1. Therefore, this is t raised to 1. Okay? So, equivalent siya sa t raised to 1. So, equivalent siya sa 12 t raised to 1. Okay. And next, hanapan natin ng katulad yung 1 over s plus 3. Okay, ano ba yung katulad nun? Tama ba na ito? This one. Bakit ito? 1 over s multiplied by alpha. Ibig sabihin, a constant term. Okay, a constant term. Since 3 is a constant term, so therefore, we can say that yung alpha natin is, okay, since negative alpha, positive 3, therefore, yung alpha natin is negative 3. Okay, therefore, this one is e raised to negative 3t. Okay, nasusundan po? Okay. So, this is equivalent to 8 multiplied by e raised to negative 3t. Okay, so the final answer will be 5 plus 12t plus 8 e raised to negative 3t. Okay? Ayun lang. Ayun lang yung Laplace transform. The easiest part, if we can recognize easily yung mga ito dito sa table. Okay? So yun yung good part or easy part. Okay? So another one. Determine the inverse transform of the function below. This one. Okay. So ito yung sinasabi ko. Wala ka naman makikita na s squared plus 100 dito. Or s squared plus s squared plus a constant. Wala naman dito eh. Okay. Ang tanging mo magagawa mo lang is i-transform siya into to this one. Okay? So kunwari ito na s squared plus 10 squared, s squared plus 100, sorry. Hanap ka dito. Okay. So yung nasa numerator niya is a constant, this one. Constant lang yung numerator. And dito sa ilalim ay s squared plus a constant. Okay, so tama ba na ito? A constant yung numerator and s squared plus a constant. Okay, however, dapat siya is, okay, dapat alpha squared din to. Kung ano yung nasa numerator mo, yun din yung nasa denominator mo. Pero naka-square lang. Okay? So, ganito lang din yun. Okay? So, isolve muna natin yung the same siya dito sa alpha over s squared plus alpha squared. Okay, so take alpha squared. So, alpha squared is equals to 100. Therefore, alpha natin is 10. Okay? So, kailangan pala yung alpha natin is naka 10. Divisible by 10 yung numerator natin. Okay? So, if we divide 200 by 10, okay, magiging siya? So, 200 over 10 over alpha. Okay? So, ang gagawin kasi natin dyan ganito. Magmumultiply tayo sa 200 ng alpha over alpha or 1. Okay? Then this is s squared plus 10 squared. Ayan. So yung alpha natin is 10. Okay, therefore we will multiply 200 by 10 over 10 ng s squared plus 10 squared. Okay? So hiwalay natin yung iwan natin yung numerator, ipasok natin yung denominator dito. Okay, punta mo siya dito yung denominator, iwan mo yung numerator, okay? So therefore, it is equivalent to 20, okay? This one, and naiwan 200 over 10 is 20, then naiwan yung numerator na 10 over s squared plus 10 squared. Okay, therefore, ito recognizable na natin to, this one is equivalent to sine of alpha t, which is alpha natin is 10. Okay, therefore, the answer is 20 sine of 10t. Okay? May question ba kayo dito, class, sa sample problem 7? Okay, wala naman. Sige, tuloy natin. Okay. So, sample problem 8. Yan, sample problem 8 na tayo. So, determine the inverse transform of the function below. Ayan. So, the function is 8s plus 4 over s squared plus 6s plus 13. Okay. So, by the rule of thumb, ganito. Kapag ang denominator mo is a polynomial, okay, take note, a polynomial, any order raised to n, di ba? A polynomial, you need to check the roots. Check mo yung roots. If they are real, okay, if the roots are real, okay, alam niyo naman yung real and complex, di ba? If the roots are real, therefore you will use partial fraction expansion. Okay? However, if the roots are complex, okay? If the roots are complex, you can use this one. You can use, if the roots are complex, you can use completing perfect square or completing perfect square. Okay, naalala niyo yung completing perfect square? So completing perfect square, 'di ba? I-transform mo yung denominator into a term that is a square term. Okay? So ganun yung gagawin natin. Okay, so yung roots natin na s squared plus 6s plus 13, ang roots natin dyan is negative 3 plus minus 2y. Okay, that is a complex number. Therefore, ang pwede natin gamitin is you complete mo yung perfect square doon sa polynomial. Okay, so if you recall, completing perfect square, ang gagawin natin dyan, take one half of the middle term, kalahati na ito, and square that. Okay, ano ba yung kalahati ng 6 is 3. Ano ba yung square? So 3 squared. Yan. So ngayon, para hindi masira yung equation mo, hindi masira yung original term mo, gagawin mo s squared plus 6s plus 13, mag-a-add ka ng 3 squared. Syempre, bawasan mo rin ng 3 squared para ang i-add mo is 0. Hindi mo binago yung function. Ayan. So, ngayon, ang gagawin mo, itabi mo yung 3 squared doon para ma-simplify mo siya ng maayos and itabi mo yung dito. Ayan, mag-interchange lang sila. So, ang mangyayari is s squared plus 6s plus 3 squared, then yung isa, 13 minus 3 squared. Okay? Now, this is already a perfect square. And this one is already a perfect square. And ito is, masisimplify na lang. Okay, so this one, 6s squared plus 6s plus 9 is equivalent to s plus 3 quantity squared. Okay, nagkataon lang na to na 2 squared lang to. Okay, pero 13 minus 9 is 4, therefore that is 2 squared. Okay, so ibig sabihin pala, yung ating denominator is equivalent to s plus 3 squared plus 2 squared. Okay. So transform mo siya into this notation. Okay. So ngayon, hanap tayo sa table. If you check the table, okay, sorry. If you check the table, ito. If you check mo, ito 'di ba? Tama ba na ito siya? Kasi yung nasa taas ay a variable s. Tama ba na yung sa taas natin may variable s? Ayan o. And also, yung ilalim is s squared plus a squared. Okay? It is equivalent to s squared plus a squared. Hindi yan pala. Hindi pala siya kasulat kasi s lang to. So hanap pa tayo. Hanap pa tayo ng katulad niya. Tama ba na ang katulad niya is, meron ba dito sa table na to? Hanapin lang natin. Ito, this one. Yan. Ito. Kita niyo ba to? Yan. Ayan. Yan. Okay. So, yung numerator is s minus a, yung denominator is s minus a. Okay. So, ibig sabihin, ganun lang din to. Since 8s plus 3, s plus 3 yung nasa ilalim, s plus 3 squared plus 2 squared. Okay. Yung s plus 3, pwede nating i-relate to s minus a squared. So, yung a natin should be a negative 3. Okay. So, a natin is negative 3. Okay. So, that is why dito is e raised to negative, ito mamaya. Okay, so kailangan natin ihawig natin yung numerator na s minus a sa denominator na s minus a. Kung ano yung denominator natin na s minus a, dapat yung numerator natin is makikita rin natin na s minus a. So parang ganito rin. Yung denominator natin have s plus 3, therefore dapat pilitin natin na yung numerator natin is may s plus 3 din. However, yung numerator natin is 8s plus 4, so we need to rearrange yung natin, yung numerator. So kunwari 8s plus 4 to, and yung una nating term is 8, then dapat meron siyang s plus 3. So ano i-minus natin para maging 8s plus 4 pa rin siya? Okay? So tama ba na this is 8s plus 24 plus 4. Tama ba na maminusan mo siya ng 20? Okay? Tama ba na maminusan mo lang siya ng 20? Kasi ito, 8s. 24 minus 20 is 4. So, the same siya dun sa original natin. So, dapat hindi mo rin babaguhin yung original mo. Okay, so therefore, yung magiging numerator natin is 8 multiplied by s plus 3 plus 20. This is 20 ha. 4 minus 24, that is negative 20. Okay, which is exactly the same pa rin sa 8s plus 4. Okay, so ito, pwede mo na itong ihanapan doon sa Laplace table kasi pinarehas mo na siya. So, tama ba na ito siya? E raised to 80 cosine bt, whereas yung A natin is negative 3 and yung B natin is positive 2. So, 8e raised to negative 3t cosine of 2t. Okay, so what we have left is this one, negative 20 over s plus 3 squared plus 2 squared. Okay, now if you check e raised to 80 sine of bt, okay, this one, okay, almost the same din siya kasi constant yung nasa taas hindi na yung s minus a. Kung ano yung nandito. Ngayon, constant na. However, kailangan the same siya dito sa denominator mo na b. Kung b squared to, dapat yung nasa taas mo is b. Okay. So therefore, kung yung b squared natin is 2, dapat yung nasa taas natin ay may 2 sa taas, di ba? So ang gagawin mo lang, i-divide mo lang yung ano natin, hanapan mo lang ng divisible by 2 yung ating numerator. Okay? So di ba, yung 20 natin, so gagawin mo lang 20, multiply mo siya ng 2 over 2. So itabi mo yung 2 dito, iwan mo yung 2 sa isa. Okay? Therefore, 20 over 2 is equal multiplied by 2. So 10 times 2. Okay? So, kaya naging negative 10 times 2. Ngayon, ito, this part, recognizable na yan. Di ba? Recognizable na yan. That is equivalent to e raised to 80 sine of bt. Okay? So, 10, e raised to, yung a natin is negative 3, yung b natin is positive 2. Therefore, yung answer dito is negative 10, e raised to negative 3t sine of 2t. Okay? So, that is exactly our answer. So, ito na yung answer natin. Okay. Do you have questions for this class? Okay? Sige. So, for sample problem 9, ito, sample problem 9 again. So, evaluate the given Laplace inverse, the Laplace transform, negative 2s plus 6 over s squared plus 4, and take the inverse Laplace. Okay, if you take the inverse Laplace, so the inverse Laplace of negative 2 plus 6 over s squared plus 4 is, pwede mo siyang paghiwalayin. Okay, pwede mo siyang paghiwalayin. Okay. So, negative 2s, di ba? Pag pinaghiwalay mo yung dalawa, okay, if you recall, a plus b, kunwari, over c squared is equivalent din siya sa a over c squared plus b over c squared. Okay? The same lang yan dito. So, pinaghiwalay mo lang yung denominator, ay yung dalawang term. So, ito, equivalent siya sa negative 2s over s squared plus 4 and 6 over s squared plus 4. Okay? So, taking the inverse of each term, take the inverse of each term or of each Laplace. Okay? So given the equation, s over s squared plus 4, di ba? So, hanap ka ng katulad ng s over s squared plus 4. So, tamang ito siya. This one. That is equivalent to cosine omega t. Okay? So, dapat s lang yung nasa taas. Therefore, negative 2 cosine of 2t. Okay? And this one, okay, sabi dito, omega over s squared plus omega squared. Okay? Omega over s squared plus omega squared. So, yung omega natin, okay, omega squared natin is 4. Therefore, omega natin is 2. Okay, dapat may makita kang 2 sa numerator. So, ang gagawin mo, 6, magmumultiply ka ng 2 over 2. Okay, itabi mo yung 2 doon, iwan mo yung 2 sa isa. So, ito ay equivalent sa 3 over 3 times 2. Okay, so that is 3, equivalent siya sa 3. And 2, iwan mo para mag-recognize mo siya dito. Okay, therefore, the answer is negative 2 cosine of 2t plus 3 sine of 2t. Okay, That is example problem 9. Okay. So now we are using naman the partial fraction expansion of real poles to first order. So application to ng partial fraction to solve for the inverse of the Laplace transform. Okay? So makikita nyo kung paano ba ginagamit yung partial fractions. So the definition of the partial fraction is given by this term. Okay. So recall nyo na lang yung partial fractions. Nagamit nyo yung partial fractions sa college algebra. Nagamit nyo rin yan sa integral calculus. Okay. So I think you can recall your partial fractions, or if not, determine natin yung partial fractions dito. Okay, sige. So solve muna natin tong isa. So determine the inverse transform of the function below. Okay, di ba by rule of thumb kanina, if yung denominator mo is, yung roots of the denominator mo is a complex number, therefore, you will do, ano lang, pag s squared pag s squared lang, you will do completing the square. Okay, yun lang yung gagamitin mo. However, if you find out na yung roots naman is a real number, you will do partial fractions. Okay, so gagamitin natin dito is a partial fractions kasi ang roots nito is -2 and -1. Okay, that is the roots. Ay, sorry. +2 and positive. Tama. Transpose mo sa kabila. So, -2 and -1 nga. Ito yung roots dito eh. So, that is real. Okay, so ibig sabihin, you will need, okay, ito finactor niya, s plus 1 and s plus 2. Okay, so you will need partial fraction expansion to solve for this one. Okay, open muna natin yung ano. Open na lang ako sa Blackboard, doon ko i-try isulat. Okay, so before we do this trick, yung trick na to, punta muna tayo sa long-term method. So para ma-determine nyo kung paano ba sinosolve talaga yung ano, partial fractions. Okay. Ayan. So nakikita ba yung sa whiteboard, class? Low?
Yes, sir.
Ayan. Ayan. Sige, solve natin. So in using partial fractions, ganito. This one. So, i-convert mo yung ito, yung function na to, s plus 6 over s plus 1 over s plus 2. Okay? So, equivalent yan ng a over s plus 1 plus b over s plus 2. So, pag hiwa-hiwalayin mo lang yung ano, yung denominator. So, yung denominator ng isa, s plus 1, yung isa, s plus 2. Okay, kung marami yan, s plus a, s plus b, s plus c. So, dadagdag ka lang. C over s plus a, s plus b, okay, and so on and so forth. Ganun lang yan. Ganun lang yung mangyayari dito. So, since dalawa lang yung term natin, we will convert this s plus 6 over s plus 1, s plus 2 into a over s plus 1 plus b over s plus 2. So, we need to find what is the value of a and what is the value of b. Okay. So, paano ba yan? So, equate ko lang dito. S plus 6 over S plus 1, S plus 2 is equals to A over S plus 1 plus B over S plus 2. Okay? So, in long term, in long solution, ito yung formal solution eh. Ito rin yung formal solution. You will divide all terms by the denominator. So, kung ano ba yung denominator nila lahat? So, di ba ang denominator is s plus 1, s plus 2. So, we'll multiply s plus 1 and s plus 2. Okay? So, if we multiply s plus 1 and s plus 2 in the whole term, okay, ang mangyayari is sorry. Bakit ito? This one. Ayan. Bumalik ba sa whiteboard, no? Bumalik naman. Okay. Ayan. So, you will multiply all terms to the denominator s plus 1 and s plus 2. So, if we multiply yung left-hand side, okay? So, denominator multiplied by s plus 1, s plus 2, makakancel yung denominator. What we have left is s plus 6. Okay? So, equals din siya sa dito, this one. So, a multiplied by s plus 1 over s plus 1 multiplied by s plus 1, s plus 2, makakancel yung s plus 1. Therefore, ang natitira na lang is a s plus 2. Tama po ba? Okay. Next is this one, b. Okay. So, magmumultiply ka ng b over s plus 2 sa s plus 1, s plus 2. Makakancel yung s plus 2. Therefore, matitira is s plus 1. Okay. Diba? Yan yung solution. Ngayon, ipapagsama mo lang siya into a decreasing order. So for example, if ano mo lang i-distribute mo yung A. So AS plus 2A plus BS plus B, di ba? Is equals to S plus 6. Ngayon, ipagsama mo lahat ng may variable S and lahat ng wala. Okay? So 8 A plus B, tama ba na siya sa lahat yung may S? And lahat ng wala is 2A plus B. Okay? It is equivalent to S plus 6. Okay? So, using systems of linear equation, masasolve mo siya 2 equations to a known. So, ano ba yung constant na katabi ng S? Tama ba na ito ay 1 lang? So, therefore, equation 1, okay, A plus B is equals to 1. Okay? Yung ito, katabi nito, 1 lang yan, di ba? Katabi nito is A plus B. So, therefore, A plus B is equals to 1. Okay? Then yung next is constant. 2a plus b, ano ba yung mga constant dito sa left-hand side is 6 lang. So therefore, yung equation 2 is 2a plus b is equals to 6. Okay? Now, solving two equations to unknowns. Okay, alam nyo na yan. Two equations to unknowns. So, systems of linear equations. Okay? So, ang sagot dito is, sagot natin. So, 2a. So, a natin is 5. And yung b natin is negative 4. Okay? So, solving. Okay. So, that is the long solution. Okay? So, for the short solution naman or yung tinatawag nila na short takip method, yun yung tawag nila, takip method eh. However, sa Tagalog lang yan. Okay, pero for the short solution or yung shortcut, okay. So, pansinin natin ito, yung this one, yung expansion dito. Okay, pansinin lang natin, pansinin natin. Okay, this one na lang, ito yung pansinin nyo. Ayan. Okay. So, to solve for A over S plus 2, okay, sorry. To solve for A, okay, to solve for A, tama ba na this is equivalent to S plus 6 minus B S plus 1 all over S plus 2. Okay? So, that is A. Tama ba na yan yung value of A? Okay? And for the value of B, that is equivalent to, okay, S plus 6 minus AS plus 2 over S plus 1. Okay? So, yan yung solution. Yan yung solution for A. Ngayon, ang ginagawa nila, you will set a value of S. Okay? You set any value of S to solve for the solution. So, kung ikaw, ang gagawin mo, what is the value of S? So, ako, kung ang gagawin ko, set ako ng value of S. Kung in solving A, set ako ng value of S na magbibigay sa akin ng 0 yung term na to para makancel na si B. Para what we have left is one equations, one unknown na lang. Okay? So, to solve for A, you will set S is equals to negative 1. Okay? Then, solving for S equals to negative 1, what we have left is negative 1 plus 6 over S plus, that is equivalent to negative 1 plus 2 is equals to A. Therefore, yung A mo is positive 5. Okay? Then, to solve for B, same concept. Set mo yung any value of S na magpapasiro sa term na to para maging 1 equations, 1 ano na lang. So, ano bang magpapasiro dito? Diba dapat yung S is equals to negative 2? If we set S equals to negative 2, magiging 0 to. If we set S equals to negative 1, magiging 0 to. Okay? So, ganun lang. So, to solve for B, ang ginagawa nila, set mo yung S is equals to negative 2. Okay? So, substitute mo, negative 2 plus 6 over negative 2 plus 1 equals to B. Okay? Therefore, yung B natin is negative 4. Okay. So, sir, bakit mo sinabing shortcut yan? Tingnan mo nga, mas mahaba pa yung solution mo compared to this one. Okay, shortcut yan. Kasi ang ginagawa nila dyan, ganito lang. Okay. Kung mapapansin nyo, lahat nung, parang nagpalitan lang sila. O, tingnan mo to. Nagpalitan sila. Kung ano yung katabi ng S plus 2 na punta dun sa A. Katabi, yung denominator na S plus 1 na punta sa B. Ayun o. B over S plus 1. Then yung katabi ni S plus 2 pumunta sa A. Okay? So, ang gagawin mo lang ganito. S plus 1. Okay. Ayan. So, to solve for A, okay, balik tayo dito. Okay, to solve for A, ngayon, to solve for A, tingnan mo lang yung ilalim niya, yung denominator ni A. So, yung denominator ni A is S plus 1. Ano ba magpapasiro sa S plus 1? Tama ba na negative 1? Okay? So, kasi pag sinira mo yung negative 1, lahat ng term na yon, lahat ng term kasi may multiplication ng S plus 1 is magiging 0 na. Ito, kung B, kung may C, kung may D, lahat ng term yan may S plus 1 yan. Si A lang yung walang S plus 1 kasi nasa denominator niya na yun eh. Okay? So, if you set S plus 1 is equals to negative 1, okay, then substitute mo siya dito sa kabila. Okay, substitute mo siya dito. Pero hindi mo rin gagamitin si S plus 1. Okay? So, if you substitute, okay, so nangyari lang, A is equals to S plus 6 over S plus 2. Okay, set S is equals to negative 1. Okay, eksakto, yan na yung answer mo. So, for B, ano rin yung nasa ilalim niya, S plus 2. Para mapasiro mo lahat ng yung iba, set mo yung S plus 2. Ano yung S value of S na magpapasiro sa kanya? So, S is equals to negative 2. Okay, then ipasok mo siya dito, yung S plus 6 over, dito yung positive, negative 2. Pero hindi mo gagamitin yung S plus 2. Natira mo na lang is S plus 6 over S plus 1. Okay, therefore, set S mo is equals to negative 2. B mo is ito. Okay, so yan lang yung solution. Okay, so ito lang. So balik tayo dun sa ano natin. Balik tayo dito. Okay, so ganito. So we have S plus, ito, A over S plus 1, A2 over S plus 2. Okay, so to solve for value of A sub 1, set mo yung denominator na magpapasiro sa kanya, which is negative 1. Pasok mo dito. Pero hindi mo gagamitin sa S plus 1. Therefore, S plus 6 over S plus 2. Therefore, negative 1 plus 6, negative 1 plus 2 equals to 5. Okay, the same solution. Okay, this one naman, A plus A sub 2, ano yung magpapasiro dito sa denominator niya para lahat ng term na iba is magiging 0. Okay, so what you have left is this one. And sa left-hand side, hindi mo gagamitin yung denominator na S plus 2. Okay, so S plus 6 over S plus 1, substitute mo S equals to negative 2, you have negative 4. So what you have left now is 5 over S plus 1 over negative 4 over S plus 2. Okay, S plus 1 is S plus 2 is recognizable na siya sa table of Laplace transform. That is equivalent to e raised to negative alpha t, where alpha is equals to negative 1 and yung alpha is equals to negative 2. So this is our final answer na. Okay? May question ba kayo dito, class? Wala kayong questions? Hello?
Wala naman po.
Okay. Sige, next is this one. So determine the inverse transform of the function below. Okay. So 50 s plus 3 over s plus 1, s plus 2, s squared plus 2s plus 5. Okay. Take note of this one. Yan. Hindi mo yan ma-factor. Okay? Hindi mo siya ma-factor pero ang roots nito is real pa rin. Pero hindi mo siya ma-factor ng ECD kasi may decimal yan. Okay. So paano ang solution diyan pag ganito? Ang solution dyan is you will add hindi na siya a over s squared plus 2s plus b. Hindi na constant yung nasa taas niya. Ang nasa numerator niya is ganito na, as plus b, naka-linear. Okay, so take note of this one. Dapat one step ahead lang yung order ng numerator and denominator. Okay, kung mapapansin nyo, ano bang order nito? 0. Ano bang order nito? Sorry, ang order nito is 1, ang order nito is 0. The same with this one. Ang order nito is 1. Ang order nung nasa taas is 0. Order of polynomial ha. Okay? Or this one. Ang order nito is 2. Dapat yung nasa taas niya is order 1. Okay? Kaya may linear siya. AS plus B. Okay? Therefore, we need to find 4 values. We have A sub 1, A sub 2, and AS plus B. Okay? So, ito, ulitin ko lang. If you cannot factor yung denominator, s squared plus 2s plus 5, you will need to add this one, as plus b. If yung denominator is a polynomial 2, kailangan one step order lang sila. Okay, one step order lang yung difference. Or kapag dinerivative mo to, the same sila ng order. Okay, ganon. Okay? So, ganito yung mangyayari. We have 1, 2. We need to find a sub 1, a sub 2, a and b. Okay. So, in solving a sub 1, alam na natin yan. You will set s is equals to negative 1 para lahat ng term makancel, magiging 0. Lahat kasi yan may s plus 1 yan kapag minultiply natin. Lahat yan may s plus 1. Okay. So, what you have left is s equals to negative 1. Substitute mo siya dito sa left-hand side. Okay, this one, yung left-hand side. Then, hindi mo gagamitin yung denominator. So, hindi mo to gagamitin yung s plus 1. Therefore, 50s plus 3 over s plus 2, s squared plus 2s plus 5. Substitute mo s equals to negative 1. You have 50 times 2 over 1 times 4 equals to 25. Okay? Next, to solve for a sub 2. Ganun ulit. Ano ba magpapasiro sa s plus 2? Di ba negative 2? Okay, negative 2 magpapasiro dito. Then, substitute mo sa left-hand side. Don't use the denominator s plus 2. So, therefore, 50s plus 3, s plus 1, s squared plus 2s plus 5. Then, s equals to negative 2. Okay, then what you have solution is 50 times 1 over negative 1 times 5. Substitute mo yung negative 2 dito sa s. You will have a sub 2 is equals to negative 10. Okay, meron na tayong dalawa, si 25 and negative 10. Okay. So, ang gagamitin na lang, ang solve na lang natin is a sub a and si b na lang. Okay, to solve for a, okay, to solve for b. Syempre, ang gagawin mo, ito na siya, 'di ba? What you have left is as plus b na lang. Hanapin natin yung a, hanapin natin yung b. Then substitute na natin yung 25 and 10. Okay, dito, negative 10. Okay. So ito na lang. Ngayon, ang gagawin natin to solve for b, syempre, mag-set ka ng value of s na magpapasirot sa a. Okay? Ano bang isa-set mo sa s para mag-zero si a? Tama ba na 0? Okay? Any value of s. Okay, so ganito na lang. Set any value of s. Value of s to make as equals to 0. Okay, syempre, para naman mapasiro mo to, ang gagawin mo is s is equals to 0. Okay, tama ba? Therefore, substitute mo lahat dito, s equals to 0. Sa lahat ng term na to, s equals to 0. So, what you have left is 50 times 3. Okay, 0 plus 3, 0, 3. S plus 1. So, 0 plus 1 is 1. S plus 2 is 2. This one is 0, naging 5. Then, 25 over 1, negative 10 over 2. And b over 5. Okay, so, one equation, one unknown. You have b is equals to negative 25. Ngayon, solve for A na lang. Okay, to solve for A, substitute mo na lang yung nakuha mo dito. Okay, naka-substitute mo yung nakuha mo dyan. Then, you can now solve for A. So, ang gagawin mo lang, set any value of A na gusto mo. Set any value of A na gusto mo. Kahit pa 100 yan, 3. Maliban dun sa nagamit mo na -1, -2, and 0. So, gamit ka. So, ang ginawa dito, ang ginamit niya is A is 1. So, 50 times S plus 3 is 4. Ginamit dito, S plus 1 is 2, S plus 2 is 3. This function is 8. This one is 2, this one is 3, this one is 8. Substitute mo yung B equals to -25. What you have left is A na lang. So, one equation, one unknown. You have solved. A is equals to -15. Okay, now you have, ito na yung partial fractions mo. So, 25 over S plus 1, -10 over S plus 2, and -15S minus 25 over S squared plus 2S plus 5. Okay. Ayan. So, recognizable na to, di ba? S plus A, 1 over S plus A. So, equivalent siya sa e raised to negative alpha t. Okay? So, 25 e raised to negative t minus 10 e raised to negative 2t. Okay? So, ito, hindi to recognizable. S squared plus 2S plus 5. Okay? Wala ka nito makikita na ganon. So, gagawin mo, magpo-perfect square ka dito. Okay? Take a perfect square of this one, of this term. Okay, this 1. Ayan. So, to simplify, 15S minus 25, kasi gusto natin, ano yan eh. So, S squared plus 2S plus 5, I think, ganito yan, papasok yan dito. Sa E cosine 2t. Yung ginawa natin kanina, this one, papasok yan dito. Kasi nga, yung nasa taas mo is S minus A, and yung sa ilalim mo is S minus A squared plus B squared. So you need to transform, di ba may S yung taas eh. Hindi naman yan constant lang katulad ni e raised to negative 80 sine BT. Okay? So ang gagawin natin, burahin ko lang to. Yan. So ang gagawin natin, we need to transform this function into ganito. S plus A over S plus A squared. I think S minus A yata yan. Okay, S minus A, sorry. Convert natin siya into S minus A squared plus B squared. Okay, plus B squared. Then S minus A. Kailangan mo siya i-convert sa ganyan para magamit mo yung table na to, yung formula dito. Okay, so para ma-convert mo siya sa ganyan, you will need completing the square. So kalahati ng 2 is 1. 1 squared is 1. So mag-add ka ng positive 1 and negative 1 para maging 0 pa rin. Ngayon itatabi mo yung 1 dito sa isa. That is already a perfect square na. So S plus 1 squared plus 2 squared. Okay. So na-convert natin into S plus 1 squared plus 2 squared yung ilalim. However, kailangan natin na the same yung nandito sa taas and nandito sa sa denominator and numerator. So just like yung ginawa natin kanina. So, negative 15S minus 25 is equivalent siya sa 15. Then, katulad nito, S minus A. So, that is equivalent to S plus 1. Okay? So, anong i-add natin para maging negative 25 pa rin siya? Okay? So, dito negative 15. So, negative 15S, negative 15, negative 25. Kulang pa tayo ng negative 10. Tama ba? This is negative, negative 15 and negative 25 yung kailangan natin. So, kulang pa tayo ng negative 10. Okay? So, that is why yung ating simplification is ganito. Negative 15 S plus 1, negative 10 over S plus 1 squared plus 2 squared. Okay? Ngayon, pwede na, ibabalik naman natin yung negative 10, convert natin into recognizable function like this one. Yung e raised to alpha t sine of beta t. Kasi yung nasa taas niya is b lang. Ay yung b natin is 2. Okay, b natin is 2. Therefore, we need to convert yung 10 sa na may multiplier na 2. So, gagawin lang ulit natin, -10, multiply tayo ng 2 and 2. Okay, tabi mo yung 2 doon, iwan mo yung 2 yung isa. Therefore, -5 times 2. Okay, that is why ito yung nangyari dito. Okay, so -5 times 2 over s plus 1 squared plus 2 squared. Okay, so recognizable na to. This is this one. Sama natin yung dalawa. 25 e raised to -t, -10 e raised to -2t. Then dito isa -15 e raised to -t cosine of 2t kasi ang alpha natin dito is -1 and yung b natin is 2. And this one natin is alpha natin is -1 and yung b natin is 2. So that's why -5 e raised to -t sine of 2t yung last term. Okay? Ayan. So may question ba kayo dito, class? So ito na yung final answer natin. Okay? Wala. So far so good. Yan lang yung problema dito sa sa Laplace transform talaga. You need to force the function na katulad nung sa table mo or unless magagamit ka ng formula kung kaya mong i-derivative yung e raised to negative st dt evaluated from 0 to infinity. Okay? So ayan lang yung Laplace transform. Okay, so what we have left now last for this module is to transform a piecewise continuous function. So for example, you have a piecewise continuous function and you want to take the Laplace transform of that one. Okay, hindi mo na pwedeng gamitin yung table na to. Bakit? Kasi yung table na yan, lahat yan ang galing sa evaluation from 0 to infinity. Lahat yan, okay, take note, all of Laplace transform table are evaluated from the equation ito, infinity e raised to negative st f of t dt. Okay? However, kapag piecewise function, okay, pag piecewise function, nagbabago yung boundary mo. Okay, ibig sabihin, di ba, remember, if you have a piecewise function, kunwari, let's say, from 0 to 10, linear siya, then the next is 11 to 20, naka-polynomial to siya, okay? So, pwede yan, yung mga piecewise function mo. So, iba-iba. So, iba yung boundary. So, ibig sabihin, hindi mo magagamit yung Laplace transform table when dealing with piecewise function. So, you need to evaluate manual. Ito, isa-isa. Okay? So, ayan, try natin yung example. To determine the Laplace transform of the function f of t is equals to 0 when time is between 0 to 3 or time is equals to 0 and time is is greater than 0, greater than or equal to 0 and less than to 3. And f of t is equals to 2 when time is greater than or equal to 3. Okay. So the solution will be ganito. So e raised to negative st f of t dt 0 to infinity. Ngayon hahatiin mo yung 0 to infinity. Okay? So yung 0 to 3 na isa natin, 0 to 3, yung f of t niya is 0. And next one, since greater than or equal to 3, that is 3 to positive infinity. So that is why yung lower and upper boundary natin is 3 and infinity. Okay, this one, 3 and infinity. Then substitute mo e raised to negative st times 2 dt. Okay, so this one is 0. Okay, any number multiplied by 0 is 0. Okay, so what you have left is e raised to negative st times 2 dt. So alam natin integral of e raised to negative st, di ba? That is equivalent to 1 over s e raised to negative st. Negative 1 over s e raised to negative st. So kaya ang solution dito, negative 2. Okay, labas mo yung 2. O e raised to negative st over s. Now, evaluate mo from 3 to infinity. Okay? So if you evaluate 3 to infinity, yung infinity upper boundary, magiging 0 yan kasi e raised to negative infinity. So that is magiging denominator. So approaching to 0 siya. So what you have left is 3 na lang. Okay, substitute mo dito. Ayun na yung answer mo. Okay? So bakit positive yan? Kasi 'di ba f of a, f of b minus f of a. So negative times negative is positive. So that is why ito yung answer mo. 2 e raised to negative 3s over s when s is greater than 0. Kasi bawal maging s na 0 dito. Okay? So yan yung solution for piecewise function. So ganun lang. Papaghiwa-hiwalayin mo lang sila. Depende dun sa boundary nila. Okay? So next problem. So find the Laplace transform of the given piecewise function. F of t is equals to t and f of t is equals to 1 when time is greater than or equal to 0 and less than 1 when f of t is equals to t and time is greater than or equal to 1 when f of t is equals to 1. Okay? So ibig sabihin, ang boundary natin is from 0 to 1 and 1 to infinity. Okay? Nakuha ba yan? From 0 to 1 and 1 to infinity. Okay, this one. Then, pasok mo lang yung function. So, 0 to 1, f of t, t times e raised to negative s to dt. Okay? And from 1 to infinity, positive 1. Okay? So, ito, na-derive na natin yan kanina. Nagbigay na tayo ng example nito kanina, di ba? What is the integration by parts of this one? Okay, alam nyo na yan. Is naging ganito yan. Ito. Itong dalawa na to. Yan. Yan yung integration by parts niya. Okay? Then, itong isa, e raised to negative st dt. Okay? Ano bang integral ng e raised to negative st? Diba? 1 over a e raised to alpha t. Kung ano yung alpha, yun din yung ilalagay. So, constant is equivalent siya sa negative 1 over s e raised to negative st. So, ito yung dito. Okay? So, alam nyo na yan. So, this one, ayan. So, evaluate na natin siya from 1 to 0, yung una, then 1 to 0, and 1 to infinity. Okay. So, from 1 to 0, this one, so upper boundary muna tayo. Pasok natin si 1. Okay. So, e raised to negative s over negative s yung natira dito. And pasok mo si 0, magiging 0 na to. Okay. So, yung evaluation ng unang term is ito. Now, evaluation of this term. Okay. Alam natin na ang integral nito is e raised to negative st over s squared, di ba? Okay. Alam natin yan. Nasolve na natin yan kanina. Okay. Now, evaluate mo from 1 to 0. And this one, ang integration nito is e raised to negative st over negative s. Evaluate mo from 1 to infinity. Okay. Yung evaluation is nandito. So, ito, copy mo lang e raised to negative s over negative s. Yung natira dito. Then, minus e raised to negative s. Pasok mo si 1 dun sa t. Pasok mo si 0 dun naman sa t next. Okay, e raised to 0 is 0. Okay, ang evaluation nito is e raised to negative s over s squared minus 1 over s squared. Okay, yan yung evaluation nito. Okay, next one, pasok mo si positive infinity sa t. So, magiging denominator siya since negative infinity. Therefore, 0 yung unang upper limit. Okay. Then, pasok mo si 1 dito sa t. Okay, pasok mo naman si 1. Natira is e raised to negative s over negative s. Okay. So, now, ito, maka-cancel na siya. O, tingnan mo. E raised to negative s over s, simplify mo lang. Ito, negative e raised to negative s over s. Cancel, cancel. Natira is this one. So, e raised to negative s minus 1 over s squared. So, e raised to negative s minus 1 over s squared. So, pinagsama na lang nila kasi same naman sila ng denominator. You can add the fractions. So, that is equivalent to e raised to negative s minus 1 over s squared. Ayan. So this one is the final answer for sample problem. Okay? So the same lang siya halos kasi ang dun sa unang yung definition ng Laplace transform. However, magbabago lang yung boundaries depende kung ano yung boundary ng piecewise functions mo. Okay? So recall your integral calculus. Okay, highly recommended to recall your integral calculus to solve for your exam or your sample problems. Okay. So another one, I think this is the last sample problem. Okay. So some sample problem 14. So, okay, determine the Laplace transform of the graph shown. Okay. So if you check the graph, ayan. So hindi naman siya nakasulat na ganito. Hindi nakasulat na ganito. So ang sa kanya naman naka-graph. So hahanapin mo pa yung function before you start. Okay, hanapin mo pa yung ganito, yung pagkakaganitong sulat before ka mag-start ng solution. Okay. So we all know the boundary of the first function. Yung boundary ng first function is 0 to 1. Ayan, no, nakapahiga. So alam na natin, sulat mo muna yan dito. 0 to 1. Then, yung boundary ng second function is from 1 to infinity. Okay? So, greater than 1. Okay, this should be less than. Ayan. Ayan. So, yan yung function ng una. Ngayon, alam natin yung function ng una. Okay? When 0 to 1, alam natin na ang function is 0. Ayun, no, nakapahiga sa 0 axis. Therefore, this is 0. Okay? Pero dun sa isa, hindi. Naka-linear yan, no? Naka-linear. Okay. So, alam nyo naman, di ba, kung paano mag-create ng linear points? Ng equation of the line given 2 points. Okay, 1, 1. This is 1, 1. Ayan, 1, 1. Okay, alam nyo naman mag-solve ng di ba? Given 2 points. Okay. Hanapin mo muna yung slope. Yung m is equals to change in y over change in x. So, equivalent siya sa 2 minus 1 over 2 minus 1 is equals to, 2 minus 1, 2 minus 1. Change in y over change in x. Okay. So, that is equivalent to 1. Over 1 is equals to 1. Therefore, yung slope natin is 1. So, recall your, I think, analytical geometry. Okay. So, given 2 points and a slope, find the equation of the line that is equivalent to y minus y sub 1 is equals to m x minus x sub 1. Okay, so y minus y sub 1 is 1 equals to, slope is equals to 1, x minus x sub 1 is 1. Okay, this is x sub 1, comma y sub 1, and this is x sub 2, comma y sub 2. Okay, so simplifying this one, this y is equals to positive x, transpose mo negative 1, positive 1, so wala. So, ang function natin is y is equals to x. Yan yung function nito. So, since naka-t yan, so f of t is equals to t. Okay, so yan yung solution mo dito. Okay, so therefore, ito na yung, we can say that ito yung ating graph. F of t is equals to 0 when time is between 0 to 1, and f of t is equals to t when time is greater than or equal to 1. Okay? So, ngayon, pwede mo na siyang i-solve for the Laplace transform given the boundaries. So, yung unang boundary is from 0 to 1. Okay? And the pangalawang boundary is 1 to infinity. Okay, bumalik na naman to, class, oh. So, mag-i-integration by parts ka ulit or alam mo na yan. Alam mo na evaluation yan. So, you can use this one na lang. Yan, oh. And this one. So, the same na lang siya. Yan, oh. Okay. So, integration by parts, you can solve for this one. So, unang term, 0 yan. Kasi 0 yung ano niya. So, ito na lang natira. Okay, then magbabago lang yung evaluation from 1 to infinity naman. Okay, so the same yan dito. This one, and this one, this one, this one. Pero nagbago lang yung evaluation na upper and lower boundary. Okay? Ngayon, substitute mo yung dito. Solve muna natin to. Substitute mo yung positive infinity. So, approaching to 0 siya. Positive, pasok mo yung positive 1. So, natira e raised to negative s over negative s. Minus, ano ba ito? Di ba ang integration nito is e raised to negative st over s squared. Okay, so if you recall this one, the same. Okay, ngayon magbabago lang yung evaluation limits from 1 to infinity na siya. So ipasok mo yung infinity muna, okay, approaching to 0 dahil magiging denominator siya again. And pasok mo si 1, okay, minus f of 1, okay, therefore e raised to negative s over s squared. So what you have left is e raised to negative s over s squared plus e raised to negative s over s. Okay? Ayan, tama. Ito yung e raised to negative s over s squared and this one is e raised to negative s over s. Okay? So do you have questions, class? Okay, sige. If you don't have any questions, leave early na lang. Then at 10 o'clock, 10:30, didiscuss ko doon yung yung application of IVP, of solving Laplace transform in the IVP. Okay?